What's up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the nicest hedgehog, and welcome back to another draft analysis. And don't mind my voice; it's just very early in the morning. Obviously, if it's early in the morning, you guys know what that means. It's the yawn time extravaganza. But anyways, we are here for APA Ascension season 6. That's literally right there. Thank goodness I was there. Season 6. I this is my third time going in AP Ascension, and the first two times actually were replacing a coach. One time I could have made playoffs but choked it away, and the second time there was no way I could make playoffs. Well, I think I could have made playoffs if I won and some stuff went for me, but I think it was also his team that couldn't make playoffs at all. But Matt, which is I believe Matt O'Shea, one of the mods in the league, was like, I don't want this last game to be forfeit out. I want this game to be played. So yeah, some random person to take the team to play for 1 week. I took the team. It was a rain team. We were kind of using rain in the other league of the RGBL, I think, at the time. Either we had finished that or we were still in the league for that. I was like, you know what? I'll try it. There's some rain elements to this team that I'm familiar with, some of that I'm not. And yeah, so I had a lot of fun. It was great. I got kind of screwed at a couple of things and stuff, but it was still great. But I've never been in AP Ascension from the start of the league. This is gonna be my first season at the start. If you guys don't know what APA is, APA is one of the best competitions out there, and it's definitely where some of the most skilled players out there come. Some people obviously will disagree with that, and that's their opinion. But for me, this is definitely the cream of the crop, top level competition until another league comes out here and blows APA away, which I don't even know if that's going to be possible, to be honest with you. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get into this draft analysis. But before that, if you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the Full Shocker here today because you're feeling the king of the crew. With that being said, let's get into this season. So, first off, it's finally great to be part of the APA again. If you guys don't know, we were the champions of Indigo season 6. I'm pretty sure it's season 6. I unfortunately did not get to come back for season 7 to defend my championship, but I did was asking to apply for AP Ascension. I actually did not get into it season 5 last season, but I did try to apply for season 6 this season, and thankfully enough, we made it. Now, if you guys don't know, there was 4. I guess they knocked it down to 3 on the levels of competition you have with your APA season. There is Indigo for newer slash people that do know what they're doing. Ascension, where it's like kind of pseudo next level, top level competition, and then there's Evolution, where it's the best of the best. So definitely some things to win. I'm hoping for a good, strong performance this season to maybe think about potentially getting a chance to go to Evolution. But if anything, I'm looking to have a good time, have some fun. Try not let Salt get in the way when games I know I'm going to lose to hacks, and Salt happened to me, so we're just going to be here to have some good time, try out some new mons. This is a strictly BDSP draft, just like RGBL is. And yeah, I'm super excited for this. It's going to be my second full league with BDSP. So hopefully hopefully I get to do well. I should technically be 3-0 in BDS in RGBL, but we are not because of stupid hacks. But showdown wise, for tournaments, we've done national dexters done. For Wi-Fi, we've been doing great. We're 2-1 in that one cycle, so so I'm really talking a lot, and I do apologize. Let's get to the main reason why you guys are here, and that is the draft. Now, I believe I had the eighth. Yeah, I had the eighth pick out of 12, so that was really bad picking on my end. But I was actually able to get some things I was kind of surprised lasted as long as they did, which was really, really nice to me. But still, didn't really like my pick position. It really wasn't that great, but um, I think I can make it work and kind of what I can do. So there's that. But yeah. So with my first pick, I was thinking a lot because a lot of things actually came to me. Like Gliscor almost came to me until I think one or two people, the pick before me or the 2 picks before me went and picked Gliscor. I would have loved Gliscor. That would have been such a nice Pokemon to have. Obviously things like guard chop and managing that. Excuse me. Latios went. I think Latios also went. Which of those first? So there was things like Clefable that came back towards me and stuff like that. And as much as I was literally thinking about Clefable, even regular Alakazam made it towards me, and I was really, really debating getting Alakazam because it's a Pokemon I've never used before. But I want to go with a Pokemon that I have not used in a while, and it's a BDSP. So I think it would be really cool if we grabbed also like a starter. I feel like, and this is probably one of the best, if not, it was one of the best Pokemon in the generation of competitive meta for Gen 4. And for my first pick, I went with Zuko, my Infernape. Now, I'm actually glad I did go Zuko with my first pick because I think I sniped either one or two people on getting Infernape. So I'm really glad I picked that up. But obviously on the following turn, Zam got picked up. So I was hoping kind of Zam could have blasted towards me. But anyways, Zuko I think is a really great mon here. Infernape just is so versatile with its moveset. It can go physical, it can go special. It's got a really good lead speed at 108, which outspeeds a really good chunk about everything else in the format. The only thing it does not outspeed is like Azel. Um, I think that's about it. Excuse me. I just think overall, Vernape's a really great mon. I think versatility is really good with a mon like this. It's a stealth rocker. It's a U-turn pivoter. There's a lot of cool ideas. I wonder if it kept slack off in this game. It kept slack off, so decently good mon to use recovery with like life orb sets and stuff like that. If you just want to go 3 attacks, I think overall this is a fantastic mon. I think it's gonna be really good. I really hope we can use Infernape to our full abilities here. It's definitely gonna be one of those mons I think we can bring almost every single week because of how good it is. And if you don't bring your first pick like almost every other week, you know you're doing something wrong with your team then because it should be one of your main mons that is brought every single week because of how good it is. So with my second pick, Clefable actually was there, and I was like, you guys can't see, but I have like my fingers like my first and my thumb were like pinched like super close to almost super close together. That's how close I was on picking Clefable because if you're gonna grab a fairy type, Clefable is probably the best fairy type in this game, in this generation. I was so close to picking it, but I think I went against it only because I think there's ways you can beat around Clefable. I have never really been destroyed by Clefable unless it's by Panther. Shoutouts to Panther too. He's the only one that's destroyed me with Clefable. I think every time I've faced Clefable, Clefable has not been an issue towards me. There was one season where it almost was in the APA, I think it was Infinity, which was in Uber's League. There was one time it was almost an issue, but I got around it. So, but I was so close to picking Clefable. It was so. I think the person after me, or the second person after that one, picked up Clefable that round. The reason why I didn't go with Clefable, like I said, I can kind of build around it, and plus, the Mon I picked up here in the second round, I think is one of the best counters to Inferno in the game. And sometimes the best things to do in Draft League is if you don't want to face the things in Draft League, you draft it. That's kind of what I did with this pick. So I picked up Slowbro. Slowbro is a mon I have not used in so long. I have only, believe it or not, I've only used Slowbro once, and that was APA. No, that was OSU season 3 when we had the Uber season and all that. So, um, I have used Slowbro before. I didn't bring it to a lot of games because I felt like it wasn't as good as I was hoping it could have been, and I really want to give it another chance. I think this is a really good mon. I think, especially in BDSP, it's definitely one of the top 10 mons to draft in BDSP because of how bulky it is, how annoying it is, and how good it kind of supports the team. It does. I'm pretty sure it still does get access to teleport. No, it does not. Okay, but it doesn't get access to Trick Room and Thunder Wave, which I think is very important for a team like mine, where you're gonna see that Trick Room kind of plays a little bit of an aspect to my team, and that was actually kind of something I was actually going to try and draft. It's a little bit of a Trick Room team, but still kind of have some like speed and all that stuff. So, but what I really liked about also Slowbro is that it can take hits, man. This thing is a phenomenal mon, and if we could somehow make Belly Drum work, it would be really good. I really wish I could have pulled off Kelly, aka Under the Radar set with Trick Room Weakness Policy, but unfortunately, Weakness Policy is not in the game. But still, sleeping on Slowbro though would be a massive problem because Slowbro offensively is a monster. This thing hits so incredibly hard. It does suck not having the fact to run things like Assault Vest and Rocky Helmet on this thing, but it does kind of force you to kind of play more well if like you're in special defensive, like a full SPDF set. But again, slow roll can really use sets to its advantage, and I think slow roll is gonna be a really good mon. I think this is a mon I can almost see myself bringing almost every single week, depending on the matchup, and I think it's gonna be a really good mon overall. With my third pick, I think I wanted to finish up my core on Fire Eye Grass because more times than not, you're never really gonna get a full Fairy Dragon Steel core going into BDSP unless you really could figure that out. But there's like not a lot of steel types. I actually got sniped on Scizor. Scizor was one of the I think it was gonna be one of my two picks, but Scizor got sniped up in the second round. I would have loved Scizor. I think Scizor paired with this thing, with Zuko, would have been incredibly good. Really think it would have. But but when it came to my third pick, I was looking at the draft board. I was thinking to myself, okay, I can try to go because we have to draft at least 9 to 11 mons. So I was kind of pushing the budget a bit in terms of wanted. And I think going with my next pick, I think was like the safe budget pick. Plus, it's a mon I have not used in such a long time, and that is Shaman, aka Amy Rose, my bad. Also, we're naming Slow Molasses because of the term slow as molasses. So I think that just fits for its name really well. Um, but Amy here is really, really good. It's a natural cure, so it's a status abuser, which is really, really good. It's a spore switch in, which is also really, really good. Now, unfortunately, oh, actually, we still keep air slash. Never mind. So it's a healing wish supporter. It's a leech seed user. It's a really bulky grass type. It's one of those mons that can be really good. It's one of the kind of good Garchomp switch-ins, as long with Slowbro as well. That's really, really good. So it forces Garchomp to either have to be choice band to do damage towards me, or it forces some other type of mons to do damage against my team, which is really good. I think that force prep is really, really nice. Excuse me. I think it's really nice. So overall, I think this is gonna be a really good mon. I think Shaman puts in a lot of good work for our team. It's definitely a really good mon that can run offensive some weeks, and there's sometimes it could run defensive some weeks. So I think overall, it's a fantastic mon, and I'm really, really looking forward to trying Shaman again. With my fourth pick coming back up to me, I wanted something to kind of pair well with Trick Room, and this kind of pairs well because we have really good answers to water types as of right now with Slowbro and Shaman, and we have really good grass resist with Shaman plus Zuko as well. So overall on that, um, what I was thinking about going was to pair our Trick Room element with this team, and plus this mon was was the MVP of our doubles league season in a VGC. I think it was off season or our first official season, and I actually loved this mon in that season. I've used it in singles once, and it was actually not that bad of a mon. I think it definitely put in a lot of work. It definitely got some matchups where, unfortunately, did not get to do as much as I was hoping it could do. So, but that mon is Rapier, aka Boulders. This mon is just so good. I love this mon so much. This mon is fantastic. This mon's a really good second Stealth Rock user, which is really, really good for the team as well. Rapier is just really good in those mons. It's an electric immunity if you wanted to make an electric immunity if we really wanted to. But Solid Rock is one of the main things. It helps give us those one hits. It's a fantastic breaker under Trick Room. Honestly, Assault Vest is not a thing, so you have to run this max SPDF sets to kind of be so pseudo SPDF bulky. But this thing's under Trick Room, Choice Banded Rhyperior is just a monster of a hit. Obviously, you can run Rindo and Pasho Berry every single week and be able to effectively run that every single week if need be. This mon's a phenomenal breaker. This mon can really put in dents. Now, it did lose access to things like Ice Punch and all that, but it does have access to things like Avalanche. Avalanche is really great. So has Earthquake, has Facade Stab, does get things such as like Fire Fang, does get fighting coverage, it gets Ice Fang as well, and it also gets Mega Horn and Poison Jab. So it still can check some of those mons out there. But it's also just one of those mons I think a lot of people, excuse me, don't aren't gonna fully be prepped for if they don't have the best ground resist on their teams. Because again, if I can just play around it, this thing's a really dangerous mon to go around. So I think that's gonna be really important there. So I think overall, Rapier is gonna be a really good Pokemon on this team, and I think a Rapier can definitely do a lot of work. And now going to this fifth round, I had my mindset on grabbing Fortress, but literally like 2 or 3 picks before me, Coberman, who is one of the coaches, actually live streams his games, and I'm actually looking forward to hopefully playing him and see if he live streams his game. I can watch that stream back to get a thought process and all that. But what sucked was he took up Fortress from me. And Fortress was that one mon that had toxic spikes, and stealth rock, and I think really would have fit well with a decently good trick room offensive piece for the team as well. But it's just one of those mons that just didn't do that, so that's unfortunate. But I think Rapier is a fantastic Pokemon. I think Rapier definitely puts in a lot of good work. But oh, I was talking Rapier. See, that's what happens when I'm tired. My brain space is on what I'm talking about. So what I ultimately decided was that I have to figure out something I need to do. And what I decided I needed to do here was I needed to find some way to have a little removal because I don't have any removal at this point, and I need something that can put in work, be a grounded poison type and anything like that. Because stealth rocks are definitely gonna be an issue, and I definitely think in draft league hazards aren't always the main way to win a game. I think what defines winning a game is more on like the team build and stuff like that. So definitely think that's something to kind of place into consideration. So, but I had to replace the one I want, and this is the one I've been very interested in trying ever since this league has came. BDSP has dropped, and also Let's Go potentially when it was a thing, and we don't even talk about Let's Go anymore. But ultimately, me really interested was the fact that this mon is a grounded poison type. This mon with tinted lens, it's incredibly hard. Also compound eyes. I think that also gets that right, or is it? No, it's just tinted lens. Tinted lens, really good mon. You can just there's no proper switch into this mon once it quiver dance up. Plus that base 90 speed. Also, sorry for my phone going off. The base 90 speed tier really comes in clutch with the team, so I think it's gonna be a really good offense with that. So overall, I think this is a fantastic mon. I'm actually super excited to try Venomoth because this is the very first time I've ever used Venomoth, and I'm hoping to have really good success with Venomoth. And when it comes to the transaction period, which I'm actually recording before we officially are done with the draft, but there's no one that can steal my last mon, so that's why we're recording this now. I'm gonna keep the team as is and just see how we go for it in the coming weeks. And then obviously, if there's any transactions I think I need to make, I'll make transactions. Obviously, excuse me, but I think what's going to be really good with this mon is just again a grounded poison. It does give me access to defog, so if I do need some way to remove hazard, it is. Heavy duty boots is not even in the game, so I do need to be very careful about that, especially with my pivoting, which is going to be one of the things. So going to round 6, I am so angry with Scythe, and he's one of the coach of his subtiles. Scythe literally took my round 6 spawn, and he literally picked it right before me. He picked up Snorlax. Now, I understand that I should have probably picked up Snorlax over Venomoth this round because Venomoth probably could have made it back towards me. But I was looking at no one was really going for Snorlax, especially with the points Snorlax. I felt like Snorlax was just a perfect mon for my team specifically because of Trick Room and all that. But he literally took it right before me, and I am so angry still about that. Snorlax would have been a really good ghost immunity for the team. Would provide big fat support. Gluttony, I think, would have been really good because I think the berries in Gen 4 are really going to be good for Snorlax in this type of format. Don't get me wrong, I think it still is in any other format you do, whether depending on the game and stuff like that. But it just sucks, man. And don't get me wrong, Snorlax doesn't have Darker Slayer or anything like that anymore, so it definitely could have not been all that great, but still, just I'm so mad I didn't get a chance to get to have Licky, man. I mean, not Licky, Snorlax, but I went with I think another good option, and that is going to be Miltank. Now, Miltank gives me again that fake fat option, but what it gave me was a little bit of also a grass immunity, which I think is also a really good pairing away for Hyperior. But it gave me the main thing in Scrappy. Now Scrappy is really really good because of the fact that I can now fully hit a Ghost type. I can fully hit a Ghost type. I can be able to switch in on Ghost. I can be able to take Will-O-Wisp because I do have Heal Bell. It's a good cleric option. And Miltank by itself can really do work. Miltank by itself can single handedly beat teams. The only thing that Miltank kind of struggles with is steel types, but that's where we have Mothman, that's where we have Rhyperior, that's where we have Slowbro, that's where we have Shaman. Actually, I'm just going to check. Does Shaman still have Earth Power in this generation? It does not. Okay, well, Shaman can just kind of sit in front of them then. But they have Zuko, obviously. So I think just really, and plus we have, I think, a good Trapper later, as I'm going to say. And also, I think another one that can relatively beat Steels, depending on the matchup. But I think what's really, really good about Miltank as well as it's another rocker. So I have my third stealth rocker on this team, and I've never really drafted hazards before. And this is like now my third time drafting a hazard user. So definitely something to kind of play in a factor there. But this also gave me Miltank support for itself, which gives us reliable recovery. I just overall think that this mon is really, really good. I've used this thing before a little bit. Not a lot of great success, but I've actually loved using it. And I think this is definitely going to be a mon that I am going to be super happy to try and use again. And I think it's going to be, especially in this meta, it's going to be really, really good. And that's what I think it's going to be. So going into my next later picks, I needed a bit of a dark type. I needed something to also check Ghost, because Ghost is going to be one of those typings that's definitely going to cause me problems if I'm not careful. So that's something right there. And I think also getting a bit of more somewhat speed was really important, but also it's just a mon that can kind of be a relatively good mon that can run Scarf or Banded almost over kind of every once in a while. And that was Honchkrow. I've never ever used Honchkrow. Obviously, I'm named after my boy Haunch. Shoutouts to Haunch. But this was a mon that I think overall can provide a really good offensive support, and I think is really good mon. Again, Sucker Punch priority is really really good, and that's what makes Bandit sets really good. It has access to Moxie, which is very very good on Scarf sets. So overall, I think this is a fantastically good mon. I think this mon could definitely be. Excuse me. I think overall this is a really good mon. I think this is going to be a fun mon to try this season. I'm kind of wanting to use this as another mon to kind of have fun with. As you can see, the rest of the team, I do have a couple of mons that are definitely weak to hazards on my team. I think only like two, really, actually. And that's why I say hazards are not that problematic, because if you get the right kind of pseudo typings to go with it, it doesn't really hurt your draft all that much. So definitely some kind of place there. But do love this mon. I think it's going to be a sleeper pick on my draft. I think a lot of people are going to really take considerations for it, and I think it's going to force a lot of scary mind games with my opponents, which could be really good. So it's got some really good utility though, but I'm really actually just get agility for some reason. Okay, it does not. It gives me a second defogger, which I think is really important as well. Is like if I really think I only need like 2 or 3 moves, I can just slap defog on this thing. So, but it does would kind of have to force me not to run choice scarf. I feel like so. Definitely the kind of play around that. But going to my next pick, there was no one that really could pick this up, and I do think this was a bit of a risky pick to make, especially with the fact that I think it's not really the best option for me to do this. But I went and actually scooped up Cloister. Now, I know a lot of people question. I don't know if a lot of people question me on this pick or not, but I think a lot of people were probably thinking of me like, did he really just pick up Cloister? Like, what? Wait, what? Now, the main reason I clicked up Cloister was not for the fact that it was an ice type, but the fact that, again, it was another one that could do some things here. Obviously, rapid spin, which still keeps the +1 speed boost, which I think is really good. So if I can get a rapid spin off, that's really good as well. It's another form of hazard mode. So we have at least one of my two mons that would defog that pseudo can have it reliably if I want, and I can run reliable spinner if I want just a defensive piece for that week. Because again, I can just run this thing as a full Spadef tank, which even though wouldn't take really Spadef hits to save its life. We could run this as a good physically defensive mon. But main reason I drafted was just Shell Smash. Shell Smash just works really well in so many matches and what it can do. So I really thought that was really, really good. And just overall, this mon is just so good, dude. I think this mon really hits hard. This mon can really do a lot of work. Shell Smash Cloister is very scary if not prepared correctly. So I just overall think this is a fantastic mon. I think this was definitely a good pickup for us as well. And I'm actually kind of surprised Cloister lasted this long in the draft. So just really, really good mon overall. And I think it's going to provide a really good piece to the team. But up next, it's the MVP, man. The MVP. There's no Violite in this game. I don't care. I honestly picked this up because I had 1 point left over, and I felt like, you know what? What's a good 1 pointer that's gonna somewhat force prep, and it kind of does. It kind of does force prep. It's like it could run as a max def set and have just run attack and everything like that. I just think it'd be focus sash every single week if I really wanted to, and I think a lot of this could be a focus sash rocks lead if I really wanted it to be that way, and if they don't have really a good hazard removal, so I just overall think this is a really good mon. I think this is just a mon that can provide a lot of good offensive pressure as well. So it is what it was. And the reason I picked this up before, I just wanted my last mon to be kind of a little bit of a shocker, like wow, this thing lasted this long, type of thing. But I think championship, it can come to one game. It can come to one game. I will try to. If I know I can't make playoffs, I'll probably bring it. And I'll probably bring it choice scarf and have it specifically have speed one mon or something like that. But just overall, this mon, it's decent. It's not gonna definitely be a main mon on the team. It probably will never come. I pretty much gonna rock out with 9.5, with 8.5 mons. No, 9.5 mons instead of 10 mons, really. But it's gonna be an interesting mon to say the least. So, but it's my last pick, and I knew no one was gonna pick this up, so that's why I decided to make this video before anything else. Is UFO the Madness Zone, and I'm very surprised this lasted towards me in the 10th round out of 11. I was so surprised this lasted to me this late in the draft. Like, this was insane to me. Like, this, I cannot believe made it as far as it did. But there were other certain electrics and steels that were really, really good that came before this one, which I won't lie. But what's really good about Magnet Zone is, again, Magnet Pull. It can trap certain steel types that if they don't have the proper coverage for Magnet Zone, that's going to really force a lot of problems. So now if you look at the team, I have Arena Trap and Magnet Pull, which is definitely a more specific shell prep on certain teams. But one of the main reasons I drafted this is the main reason why it was the kill leader for week one, and that is analytic. Analytic hits like a mother trucker. Now, obviously, analytic is not calced into damage calcs, but basically, imagine analytic doing damage. Excuse me, doing damage in terms of what it can do. So I really think just Magnezone can put a lot of pressure. Have you guys seen how when we use Magnezone put on a freaking clinic last time we used it in week one of RGVL. So I think this is a mon that can almost bring every single week. It's definitely going to be one of those mons that has to be very carefully. Now, there are times probably run choice specs on this thing. There's obviously times I probably run Shuckaberry, maybe run things like Focus Sash. But just overall, this is a mon I love to death, and I think it's been a mon I've been so happy to try. And it's definitely gonna be a mon I'm really hoping puts in a lot more good work here. So yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the the draft analysis, guys. Let me know in the comment section below which mon do you think is gonna be MVP of the team, and I think and just overall, let's see how we do. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the First Strike Recruiter today because you're from the King of the Crew. We have actually surpassed 2,500 views on this channel, so thank you all so much. We are almost to 1,000 views in one of my old previous videos from the channel, which is also would be amazing if we can get 1,000 views on that video, which would be awesome. So and we're coming up on now on 28 subscribers. Hopefully, we can get to 30 subscribers before the end of the year. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Until next time, guys. Peace.